I paid $10,000 for a round trip on Delta One from JFK to LAX to Sydney. Was it worth it though? $10,000 is a lot of money. With Delta One, you're expecting top quality and service. Or are you? In this video, I'll talk about the lounge experience, the seats, the food on the plane, and the service on the plane. At the end, I'll also talk about if I'd pay for Delta One in the future. Up first, the lounge experience. Since there were delays with the Delta One lounge at JFK, I didn't get to experience that, although I was expecting to when I booked the flight. Instead, I got their Delta Sky Lounge, which is great compared to other lounges. The food is good, and you get this view. This is nice. In Sydney, there's obviously no Delta Lounge, but we got access to the Sky Team Lounge. This lounge, in my opinion, is not worth it because the food in the lounge was completely opposite of what you're expecting in the Sky Lounges. Ultimately, I paid for the Delta One Lounge experience, but I got the Sky Lounge and Sky Team Lounge experience. This is breakfast here. Does this look appetizing to you or no? Like, look at the eggs. It's all like runny. Will this be any better? Chicken noodle soup. Up next, the seats. Although all the seats were lay flat seats, most were outdated. At least at the time I flew on these planes. Like this one, and this one. The screens were not working properly and they were tiny. Getting tired of this button, like it's not fucking working. Delta shit one. The seat on the flight from LAX to Sydney, on the other hand, is nice. Knowing that you can get this over this when you're paying $10,000 is a punch in the gut. I would have preferred consistency across all of the Delta One flights with the same seats and screens, or at least have them working. Next, let's talk about food. Some of the food was good and some were not good. The not good was more like not edible, like this. I ordered the short ribs. This is cold. What kind of food is this? This is terrible. Is this supposed to be cold? The options were omelet or muesli. I didn't know what muesli was, so I asked what is that, and they said it's like granola and yogurt. Oh man, that is terrible, not good. And look at this bread. It's hard as a rock. Not all the food was bad. The meat and potato thing is gone, and the shrimp appetizer. And this breakfast dish was good. It's always something with these people. Jeez. I just want to get home. I think the worst part about paying $10,000 for the trip is the service. I don't have a video to show you where the flight attendant asked me a few times if I'm in Delta One as I'm going to the lavatory. I would think you should know I'm in Delta One as a Delta One passenger. This is not the worst part though. They make it seem like there's this prestige section of the plane, and yet they allow non-Delta One passengers put their luggage in the Delta One overhead. The upsetting part about this I have on video for you here. Watch. So they put economy's people's luggage in first class and they put my wife's luggage in economy. How ridiculous is that? They're having first class passengers move their stuff for economy passengers. Kind of ridiculous. I don't understand why it doesn't go underneath. So I forgot to mention one other upsetting part about my Delta One experience. Although this can happen with any airline, I just wouldn't imagine it happening to someone paying more for quote-unquote luxury. As a Delta One passenger paying $10,000, I got to choose my seat. I researched the best part of the aircraft to sit in on each plane, and I chose to sit in on the inside leaning up against the window. As you can see here, I'm not. The day before departure, Delta changed my seating arrangement. At the check-in counter, I told them to change it back, and they were like, unfortunately, we're not able to. So I asked them why they changed it to begin with. They didn't have an answer except that I can ask the person sitting in my seat to switch, which I thought was ridiculous. Would I fly on Delta One again? Yes, because I don't think there's a better option amongst the US airlines. Was it worth $10,000? Definitely not. With that said, if I had to rate them, I'd give them a 6 out of 10. What I will try is flying out of the US using Delta One and flying into the US with that country's top airline. I'll be doing that in our future Europe trip.